Everybody seems to think that because all of these new tools are coming up, like GPT-405 appeared today, DeepSeek a few weeks back, etc., it feels like we are progressing, and I don't think that's the case at all. I think that the last breakthrough that we really had was ChatGPT a couple of years back. Like the T in ChatGPT stands for transformer, and a transformer, it's a type of architecture for neural networks, and that's what's making all this magic happen. Now, we haven't really changed and moved past that transformer architecture over the past couple of years. Like GPT-4, 4.0, then Claude, Anthropic, Llama from Facebook, DeepSeek, all of those are small refinements on this core architecture. And this is why I think things are not improving. We're not making any major leaps in performance, but the applications, those are going to grow dramatically. And I completely agree that they are going to transform industries. But to explain what I mean by technology and applications, let's take another example of a technology and how it transformed effectively the world. Think about the first time the iPhone was released, the first iPhone. That was somewhat of a breakthrough. Similar technology was available before, but the iPhone, the first one, was the first one that enabled what we currently see as smartphones. And what it was really a display, a connection to internet, and a camera. And the major thing was the App Store. And that enabled a lot of use cases. But that was the core technological improvement. And if you think about it, we haven't really improved much over the past 10, 15 years, whatever it was. The same pattern, the same story will apply to AI. Think about ChatGPT as the first iPhone. Before ChatGPT, we had similar models that were able to interact with text and produce similar results. They weren't good enough to become mainstream. And then ChatGPT was what made AI mainstream. And from that point, much like in the iPhone, we'll see a few years of people figuring out how to make use of this new technology. So with the iPhone, we had more and more apps being developed. And for the first few years, I would say until the iPhone 10, you could see clear improvements year after year. Now, the core technology did not improve much. They became really, really good. And alongside those, you could see applications being developed and an entire industry, billions and billions were poured into that industry. Mobile apps and services and social media was built on top of that. Now, with AI and ChatGPT, you're seeing a similar trend, but the transformer architecture is still limited inherently in the things that it can do. What we're seeing right now is people are figuring out that there are more and more and more use cases to this technology. Like customer support is really, really good. Automating tasks, like replacing low-level talent, like VAs, junior developers. And I would imagine many industries we're seeing that, right? But there are limitations. If you've ever tried to use AI to code a software project from scratch, if you're building a simple, cute little app, you're probably able to make it work. Now, if you need any complexity in it, but it does get stuck and it doesn't improve, the limitation is not the power of the model, it's the inherent architecture. If you've ever tried to use ChatGPT or any of these models to give you business advice, it's not great advice. It's a great collection of all the knowledge in the world, but it's not really intelligent. That's a limitation. The point that I'm trying to make is that all the reports and conferences, all these CEOs from tech companies and everyone in the industry is trying to say that AI is taking off and it's going to replace all software engineers and it's going to replace all of this or all of that. And I don't think that's really the case. We are not getting any real breakthroughs. The major advantages that we'll see will be in applying the technology kind of like what we have today with better applications. So to bring the point home and why I think this point is very relevant for business owners and anybody wanting to get involved with AI and implement AI into their business. A common objection or a common question that I get is, should we build this solution or should we wait a few months? A better model will come out that will make this obsolete. And my framework for answering this question is as follows. If the limitation that you're having is inherent to the limitations of the model, and think about it as the model not being smart enough, and you can see that I'm sure you've been typing on ChatGPT and it almost gets notice it, but then you give it a small correction, it just misses the point entirely. Things like this will not be solved, and you need better prompt engineering, better architecture, and you need to actually consider the AI system with a more rigorous approach. And I don't think that's going to be solved anytime soon. So certainly invest in those things, because with better engineering and better planning, you can go past those limitations and get a system that works. Now, if what you're limited by is the actual implementation, maybe a tool comes up and it makes your job a little bit easier in implementing. But you can also start building your own implementation today. And as things come up, it just makes maintaining and enhancing that implementation easier. So certainly don't sleep on it. And there are a lot of use cases for AI. I'm certain about that. Don't think that like AI is going to replace major parts of major businesses. I don't think it's happening at all. So that's it for this video. If you have any comments or if you disagree with me, please let me know. And otherwise, let me know what other videos you want me to make in the future, because I spend all week talking to clients and thinking about AI and thinking about these solutions. So happy to help however I can. Otherwise, thank you for watching.